Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, as it stands now, Humza Yousaf is driving down from Dundee to Holyrood. He's surrounded by his aides. There's a lot of people there. They're deep in a huddle. They're looking towards this midday press conference. And of course, all this is overseeing one of the most important events of the political year, and that is the Holyrood Dog Show. See which of them has the best dog. I mean, this is important stuff, and sadly it's being very much overlooked. However, we do have a couple of points which I'd like to make, and I think this will be a very entertaining video, and I do hope that right now you're busy hitting the like button. I really would like this one to go wide and far, so please hit the like button and definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't, because two things. One, I would like to point out a little bit of hypocrisy. And secondly, I have a bit of news from one of my Holyrood spies who is informing me something, anonymously, of course, but I have no doubt that the veracity of it, but I must say it is a rumour, and we'll talk about that in a moment. However, firstly, we'll have a look at the hypocrisy. Now, back in 2014, John Swinney was asked if he would ever stand to be the SNP leader again. And his quote was, unreservedly, absolutely, in no circumstances whatsoever, there is no way of you configuring any signal that I am possibly saying to you anything other than no. So the most obvious no, he would never ever stand for leadership again. Back in 2014. Now, they say a week is a long time in politics. A decade is a lifetime. And here we are, 10 years later. And Skinny Swinney is looking to become leader again. The sheer hypocrisy of the man. Now, that's that. Now, I have been informed, and this is where it gets a bit salacious. So I will point out that this is rumour, but it is rumour that I feel obliged to pass on because I think it's very, very important. Now, whether it's true or not, I leave that up to you to decide. So take it with a pinch of salt. But I've been made aware that Humza Yousaf is in a little bit of financial problems. He owes a lot of money, about £250,000. And he's been heard asking for it on the phone to try and raise this money. And that there'd be trouble if he couldn't raise the money. Now, my source says that he works with different groups, shall we say. And that Humza was overheard. Somebody was in the periphery when this phone call went on and was overheard by Humza not realising it, that he was being listened to it. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to drop my source in it, but let's just say it was in a place where Humza Yousaf thought he was safe. Put it that way. I've got to be very careful because I don't want to drop my source. But apparently he was asking for £250,000 because he owes someone £250,000. And he was basically begging off Peter to pay Paul, and we can only speculate as to why. Personally, I think it may well possibly be something to do with his somewhat extended family, and we'll just leave that one there. But it doesn't surprise me that there's such embuggerment and shadery within that family at all. And so no wonder he was trying to hang on and hang on and hang on. He needs that big ministerial or first ministerial salary in order to have the funds available to be able to cough up £250,000 to what one can only presume is a very shady, perhaps criminal character. Now, you don't make these claims lightly, and so I'm saying that it is a rumour that maybe will never come to fruition because there'll be no proof of it or anything like that. But it is just that. It's just been given to me by a contact. But are we surprised? Does this surprise anybody? But, you know, it hardly matters now. The man's going, so it's not really going to be affecting his future career. and we don't know what the money was for, or even if it was there. We've got to be very careful what we say. But my little Holyrood spies do tend to be quite reliable generally, and I've got no reason to not trust this one. So we shall leave it there. There are just so much going on today, obviously, with the very fast-moving news. I can't obviously keep up with it in as fast as it's coming in, but we are trying our absolute best to do this. So I'm just, as I'm sitting here, I'm seeing more stuff come in all the time. It is such a bang, 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 bang. But if you do get a chance, if anyone's there and they're interested, I'll see if I can find out who wins the Holyrood Dog Show, Dog of the Year show. There are a few of them, and it'd be nice to do it. So I'm just thinking Dog of the Year show, and then and in my mind, I can't say it, and I'm not going to say it. I'm not going there. That is below me. It's below me. Now, the one other thing I wanted to say, which will be quite, I think obvious. I think it's something that I'd like to. I'm going to make the prediction now. I'm going to make the prediction, and then I'm going to say something. He's going to come up to his press conference. He's going to stand there and he's going to say it was a privilege, blah, 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 blah. Then he'll say forces of evil, anti-racist, there'll be racist people, anti-Islamic and things like that. And they all they politicised this and they did that. And it's all this bullshit that he'll give. But let's make no bones about why he's going. And I'm going to tell you why Humza Yousaf is going. He's going for one reason only. He was tempted into agreeing with Alba and going with Alba. And as soon as that temptation was dangled, as soon as the carrot was put in front of his face, the powers that be behind the throne said no. Because although he was the continuity, the Sturgeon continuity candidate, there are others that are still loyal to her and her memory. And they did not want anything approaching Alex Salmond in the form of power to go anywhere that way. And so they said no. And so it was his temptation of taking up Alex Salmond's offer that caused his own demise, because the loyalty lay to Sturgeon and not to him. He may have been the continuation candidate, but he was not Sturgeon. And that's why he's going. So don't believe any of this bullshit you're about to hear during this press conference. None of it is true. Anyway, that's got a big rounding off of news there. There's lots of things there, so I hope that you all take something from it. Definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll move on. And that's the first of my long forms for quite some time. So thank you very much. Speak soon. Bye.